This is 95.3 Business Now.
Welcome back to Market Street, everyone, for the new year 2024 with the first trading day kicking off now. I am Aramide Folarshaw. Let's get started. The decision by the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries and its allies to cut out additional 2 million barrels of oil in the first quarter of 2024 kicked in yesterday, January the 1st. The decision reached at OPEC Plus final meeting in 2023 was aimed at boosting global demand for fossil fuel and stabilize oil prices. Nigeria's Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, has reaffirmed his ministry's commitment to prioritize electricity supply in the country in 2024, in line with the President Bola Tinubu's electricity turnaround agenda in his New Year message. In a tweet posted on Monday, Adelabu stated that the ministry is reviewing the implementation process for a cost-reflective electricity tariff and aims to provide continuous government subsidies for vulnerable society members, regardless of the lack of liquidity in the electricity market, which is a significant challenge in the sector. The President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has promised to race against time to produce a simplified fiscal and tax policy that will ensure that businesses thrive across the country. The president stated this during his first New Year's address on Monday, while emphasizing that his message on all his international travels has been the hospitality of Nigeria to businesses and investors. The National Assembly has reduced the allocation for minimum wage and salary-related payments for ministries, departments and agencies by 45% in the approved 28.7 trillion naira 2024 budget. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu initially proposed a budget of 1 trillion naira for public service wage adjustment for MDAs, including arrears of promotion and salary increases, and payment of severance benefits, as well as minimum wage related adjustment. However, the approved budget by the National Assembly, now signed by the president, reflects a significant reduction of 550 billion naira for the same fiscal item, thus indicating a decline of 450 billion naira from the proposed figure. Meanwhile, the chairman of the House Committee on Appropriation, Abubakar Beche, has announced that ministries, departments and agencies will boost their revenue in 2024 to finance the approved 28.7 trillion naira budget, which is an increase of 1.2 trillion naira from the President Bola Tinubu's initial proposal of 27.5 trillion naira. Beche clarified that the increased budget is a result of revenue generating agencies pledging significant revenue growth in 2024 to support the budget. Coming up after the break, Nigeria's local currency is projected to see further depreciation in the new year 2024. More on that after this break.
This is 95.3 Business Now.
Welcome back to Business Now. The Naira is set for its worst year since the return of democracy in 1999, with analysts predicting further depreciation in 2024, and that's according to a Bloomberg News report over the holiday weekend. Bloomberg reported that the Naira plunged 55% to 1,043 units to the US dollar in 2023, making it the world's worst performing currency after the Lebanese pound and the Argentine peso, among 151 global currencies tracked by the International Business News Organization. Welcome my first guest on the show in 2024 to discuss the fate of the Naira, Johnson Chukwu, an investment securities professional and the group CEO at Cowrie Asset Management. Great having you on the line, sir, and a warm welcome to 2024.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you, sir. So, do you agree with the Bloomberg report that the Naira will further depreciate in the new year?
Yes, I've also made the same predictions because if you look at the variables that will drive a stronger Naira, they are not likely going to be there in 2024. You are going to see material improvements in capital importation. Neither will you see material improvements in crude oil production. And those are the major sustainable sources of foreign currency inflow that could lead to a favor of local currency. So if you don't have crude production, materially improved crude production, and you do not have significant improvements in your foreign capital importation, then you are certainly actually going to see your currency depreciate further in the new year.
All right, but again, from an investment professional point of view, how could Nigeria stem the tide of the fall of the Naira?
Well, I think we have to start with the critical things I've mentioned. First thing is that actually an endogenous factor within our control. That is to improve crude production. If we have a material improvement in crude production, our dollar inflow will improve, and then the central bank will have the water to stabilize it. Because we need to clear the areas of unmet demand of foreign exchange that to portfolio investors and other stakeholders, other interests in foreign currency, such as the airlines, the futures and forward that have matured, have not been liquidated. We need to clear them first. So that what comes into the market will be current demand. So without that, you are not going to see a stable exchange rate. So the first thing to do is to focus on improving our crude oil production. And that will we have to go to the extent of addressing the Delta area, improving the stakeholder interest in crude production. And I can tell you these are not short-term issues because if you look at the level of poverty in the Niger Delta region, it's going to take quite some time to address that. And without that, it's difficult to actually profit from bridging the pipeline.
Let's look at what should investors, both local and foreign, now, what should they prepare for in the new year 2024 as far as the exchange rate market is concerned?
Well, it may be difficult to predict a specific figure, but I know for certain that investors should factor in. I think FMDQ had there's a projection about 1,600 Naira to a dollar in one of the projections. I wouldn't know if you get to that. I wouldn't know whether it will get to that, but clearly we should expect a continued depreciation. I mean, you saw it at some point touch 1,099 Naira to a dollar. Although the Thursday prior to the end of the year, it was at 1,043, and then the central bank intentionally appreciated it to close at about 907.
Exactly.
So,
okay.
So
I'm with you.
Further depreciation, the rate it gets to will depend on a lot of variables.
Okay. Now, in what ways can the monetary policy, help to stabilize the value of the Naira?
Well, unfortunately, the monetary policy have limited effectiveness currently. Like I said, the monetary authorities do not have the capacity to support the Naira. In terms of increasing, which is in the should ordinarily do, increasing yield on local currency instruments so as to local currency instruments attractive to foreign portfolio investors. If you do that, you're not likely going to get the expected effect because investors whose investments are trapped are not likely going to come to the market until they have those things cleared. If you look at capital importation in the third quarter of the year, you will realize that it will come one of the lowest in decades. Only $654.65 million importation in the period, the 3 months period ending September. And that's quite low, given the size of the economy. Principally because investors are not willing to come. And the greatest portion of even that $654 million was $507.77 million that relates to other investment, which is basically loans, not investment in securities, loans granted increased by foreign investors.
Johnson Chukwu, an investment securities professional and the group CEO at Cowrie Asset Management. Have a great day ahead and a profitable new year 2024.
Thank you, and same with you.
All right. So let's recap the final trading week of 2023 for you. Starting with the equities. The Nigerian equities market was red hot in 2023. The bulls extended their winning trend to the final trading session of the year. The benchmark NGX all-share index gained 36 basis points in Friday's trading to close at 74,773.77 points. At the day's positive performance was attributed to investors buying activities in major stocks like Zenith Bank that went up 1.18%, Julius Berger 8.04%, UBA saw 2.19%, JITCO 1.12% in the green, MTN Nigeria 0.57%, along with other 45 stocks. So across frontier African markets, the Egyptian main index reported an increase of 0.82% on Sunday, December the 31st, while the Kenya Burse was positive with a 0.47% gain on Friday. But here in West Africa, we've got the regional exchange of BRVM in Abidjan that dipped by 0.36%. The Ghana stock market was flat. And looking into Southern Africa, the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange finished strongly by 3.84%. The JSE in South Africa recorded a positive performance of 0.53% for the final trading day of 2023. So we look at money markets now. In the secondary bond market, sentiment was bullish. Average yields moderated at the mid segment by 17 basis points, and the interbank rates declined on Friday as open repo rates and overnight rates among commercial banks paired by 36 basis points and 23 basis points respectively at the end of the day at 15.06% and 15.47%. Now, quickly, let's bring in currencies market statistics. That's for the week ended December 29 from FMDQ Securities Exchange. A total turnover of $385.75 million was recorded at the sports and FX derivatives segment. That showed an increase of 51.71% from transactions done in the earlier week. And FMDQ reports that the weekly decline in FX derivatives turnover was solely driven by 97.05% decrease in turnover at the FX forwards window. Meanwhile, there were no trades executed in both the exchange-traded FX futures and the cleared Naira settled non-deliverable forwards market of FMDQ. And in the FX spot market, the total value of transactions was $385.10 million, down by 50.43% on a week-on-week basis. If we check the exchange rate window now, the average Nigerian autonomous foreign exchange fixing rate was 963 Naira 24 kobo. That's representing a depreciation of 7.24% for the local currency against the US dollar. And a quick look at oil prices, which rose on Tuesday after Iran dispatched a warship to the Red Sea as the situation remains tense in the critical waterway for global shipments that has seen vessels attacked by Yemen's Houthi rebels. Global crude benchmark Brent jumped 1.6% to $78.27 a barrel, while the U.S. West Texas Intermediate rose 1.42% to $72.67 per barrel during Asian trading hours. And that's your cotton raising business now for the first official business day of 2024. I am Aramide Folorshaw. Do have a great week ahead, everyone. It's bye for now.
This is 95.3 Business Now.